happy Tuesday morning, March 30th, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday morning, so let's begin. First up, let's take a look at your COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. And here is a check of those COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. There are 83,340 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. There are 1,237 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And there are 73 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And that is a look at your COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. Sanbornton schools declare mud day with buses in danger of getting stuck. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
For the easy and the complex, the small stuff and the big, we're here with the affordable local loans, easy to manage accounts, and financial advice to help you blaze a trail, figure stuff out, and make your money go farther. We're Granite State Credit Union. Live bold.
No, I've never had a mud day before. So, we obviously have a lot of snow up in this area, but I haven't had a mud situation quite like this one.
Superintendent Robert Seward says this is a first for him. Many roads around Sanbornton grew increasingly more soggy and muddy this past weekend, to the point where heavy school buses were at risk of getting stuck.
Our number one priority is always going to be the safety of our students when we're transporting. The bus company the same way. So we're all working together to try and make sure that we don't run buses in places where we shouldn't.
Parents who lived on the affected roads were given three options. They could drive their students to school, get them to another bus stop, or just choose to have a remote learning day. Superintendent Seward says about 100 to 150 students, elementary through high school, were impacted. Superintendent Seward says after talking things over with town officials, he's decided to declare another mud day for Tuesday, meaning that the same educational options that were available to parents today will again be available tomorrow. Highway officials say the problem is caused by subterranean melting frost.
Rain actually did help. And this wind is gonna, it's being a problem as far as trees down and things, but it's helping to dry out the roads.
Officials say things should be back to normal later this week. In Sanbornton, Andy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Lawmakers tie emergency power restrictions into the state budget plan. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
For the easy and the complex, the small stuff and the big, we're here with the affordable local loans, easy to manage accounts, and financial advice to help you blaze a trail, figure stuff out, and make your money go farther. We're Granite State Credit Union. Live bold.
It's not always clear what's going on under the Golden Dome in Concord, especially when it comes to crafting the state budget. The pandemic has only added complexity, not just to the process, but also to the relations between the branches of government. The House is taking steps to curtail the governor's emergency powers. Next week, reps will vote on a bill to give the legislature more oversight of emergency spending and authority to end or renew a state of emergency after 30 days. Lawmakers say they don't want to be looped out anymore.
The problem was this lack of communication. I don't know about the rest of you, but I found out about a lot of these things the same way my constituents did. when it came out in the news.
A rebalancing of pandemic powers is also being woven into the state budget by House Republicans. This not only makes it harder for the governor to veto, but GOP leaders have indicated they need that kind of insurance policy to get enough votes within their own party to send the state budget to the Senate. Almost exactly 4 years ago, the Republican Freedom Caucus prevented the House from passing a budget over spending concerns. Reps say Governor Chris Sununu joked about a GOP family feud in 2017, but at his last press briefing, he did not seem to be taking this situation as lightly.
They should not be attaching non-budgetary items to a budget just to try to hijack it or get it through. So this whole process has got a little bit off the rails in the House.
While many Democrats are on board with reining in emergency powers, they don't want to prevent the governor from taking what they believe are reasonable steps to address the pandemic. And if this turns into a bigger fight among Republicans, they're not going to get in the way.
The governor also helped to elect a lot of these people. Payback sometimes is not so much fun.
In Concord, Adam Sexton, WMUR, News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Trial for driver accused in Randolph crash that killed 7 motorcyclists likely to be delayed. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Summit Packaging Systems is hiring for all shifts. Summit knows stability, security, and growth are extremely valuable. You'll develop skills to succeed and earn steady income and benefits. Apply online at summitpackagingsystems.com/careers today.
Well, prosecutors are asking that the trial of a man charged in a deadly crash that killed 7 motorcyclists in Randolph be moved to next year. Vladimir Sukovsky is facing multiple counts of negligent homicide for that 2019 crash. Today, prosecutors told a judge that it will be challenging for them to get ready for trial before the new year, citing scheduling conflicts and other issues. Defense lawyers had hoped for something this fall, saying it's important for Sukovsky to have his day in court as soon as possible.
So obviously we have a client who's been in jail since 2019, and so he is anxious to get to trial as well.
The judge has said that he will try to pick a date that will be acceptable to both sides, but didn't say when that might be.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. UNH Manchester chosen by NASA to send student experiment to International Space Station. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Summit Packaging Systems is hiring for all shifts. Summit knows stability, security, and growth are extremely valuable. You'll develop skills to succeed and earn steady income and benefits. Apply online at summitpackagingsystems.com/careers today.
It's the kind of lesson that can't be taught in a classroom or on planet Earth.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them.
Students at UNH Manchester are sending their experiment into outer space. The Novel Methods of Antibiotic Discovery in Space, or NOMADS project, is one of 5 from across the country chosen by NASA to be put on a SpaceX flight bound for the International Space Station.
It's actually a really simple project, which is, I think, one of the reasons it got accepted. There's not a lot of ways it can go wrong.
Biology professor Dr. Sue Cook says they'll 3D print their own equipment and fill a box with New Hampshire soil. The samples will be aboard the ISS for roughly a month. Upon its return, her team will study the soil bacteria
and see if they mutate at a faster rate than bacteria from the same soil sample that we keep right here on Earth.
So can we send bacteria up to space and have it mutate in a way where we can identify new antibiotics and bring them back to Earth and help with the antibiotic crisis?
Ignition and liftoff. Their findings could also impact space travel in determining how long people could live there. In the meantime, the team will present at New Hampshire schools, and they're running a contest asking middle schools to submit proposals about which soil they should use.
it's not unreachable because we did it. So you can go to a small university like UNH at Manchester and you can send something to space. You just have to try.
Launch will hopefully happen early next year, and UNH Manchester students will travel to Kennedy Space Center to watch it live. In Manchester, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Very cool indeed. Key moments from day one of the Derek Chauvin trial. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
You will learn what happened in that 9 minutes and 29 seconds. The most important numbers you will hear in this trial are 929. May 25th of 2020. Mr. Derek Chauvin betrayed this badge when he used excessive and unreasonable force upon the body of Mr. George Floyd. You will learn that he was well aware that Mr. Floyd was unarmed, that Mr. Floyd had not threatened anyone, that Mr. Floyd was in handcuffs, he was completely in the control of the police, he was defenseless. We're going to ask at the end of this case that you find Mr. Chauvin guilty for his excessive use of force against George Floyd that was an assault that contributed to taking his life, and for engaging in eminently dangerous behavior, putting the knee on the neck, the knee on the back for 9 minutes and 29 seconds without regard for Mr. Floyd's life. We're going to ask that you find him guilty of murder in the second degree, murder in the third degree, and second degree manslaughter.
And this will ultimately be another significant battle in this trial. What was Mr. Floyd's actual cause of death? The evidence will show that Mr. Floyd died of a cardiac arrhythmia that occurred as a result of hypertension, his coronary disease, the ingestion of methamphetamine and fentanyl, and the adrenaline flowing through his body, all of which acted to further compromise an already compromised heart. Dr. Baker found none of what are referred to as the telltale signs of asphyxiation. There were no bruises to Mr. Floyd's neck, either on his skin or after peeling his skin back to the muscles beneath. There was no petechial hemorrhaging. There was no evidence that Mr. Floyd's airflow was restricted, and he did not determine to be a positional or mechanical asphyxia death. When you review the actual evidence, and when you hear the law and apply reason and common sense, there will only be one just verdict, and that is to find Mr. Chauvin not guilty.
My instincts were telling me that something's wrong. Something is not right. I don't know what, but something wasn't right.
In what ways were you thinking that something was not right?
It was an extended period of time. Again, I can't tell you the exact amount of time. And they hadn't told me if they needed any more resources. It's a multitude of different things that ran through my brain.
About your call, as you sit here today, have you changed your mind about the reasons why you called Sergeant Pleager when you did?
No.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, everyone.